Hello, I'm Dr. Tom, and I'd like to welcome you to another Friday update. And as we watch this week, I will let you know that we have our regional event going on in Paris Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I'm telling you, the Catherine Rossi extravaganza, if you will be spectacular. I look forward to giving you an update on that and showing you some pictures and some joy of what's happening with your Gin brothers and sisters in Paris. So I look forward to sharing with you, obviously. I will again tell you about Josh Novey's Midwest Retreat, another spectacular event, a great way to bond and build camaraderie inside this club with your Gin brothers and sisters. So thank you, Josh, and thank you, David Kruger, as well, for putting that on. And I understand there are more of those in the mix, and we'll be making those announcements coming up. Again, the Flaming Farm Super Saturday that we had a couple of weeks ago, there is a tab for you to click on to view a short video. It's about 3 minutes, really short, but it will give you that feeling. The purpose for this, and Joel putting it together, is for you to create that feeling of events, and so that you can begin to build that fire, build that core, if you will, of that energy that is ultimately leading us to February in Las Vegas at the Mirage. So we talk about high tech and our ability to communicate with you all over the world, and high touch. When we do events, when we get people together, when we build those bonds and relationships and we share that energy, it is life-changing, and I look forward to that for so many of you. And while we're on the topic of Las Vegas, for those of you that are new and have not yet been to a major event, there are 2 steps to that. One is to register with us inside the Global Information Network so that we know you're going to be there. And number 2 is a separate step in which you make your room reservations. You can get there. There's a link on the website that will take you there and be able to get you registered in both places so that we're prepared and the hotel is prepared for you to be there. So just a point of clarification for you on that particular topic. I will share with you as well that this past week I did a Wellness Wednesday with a dear friend of mine, Dr. Walter Parrish from Tucson, Arizona. And he shares with you a concept that he utilizes in his practice, and it is a beautiful concept for each of us to do, an action step that we can do on combustible laughter. And I will tell you that you must go back, look at this, watch this, and enjoy the moment, enjoy the ride, and enjoy the feeling that you have at the end of that Wellness Wednesday. Today I would like to discuss with you intention. Because intention is a way in which that you can begin to uplift yourself, if you will. It's a way in which you can break a cycle. It's a way in which you can start a new cycle. It's a way in which you begin to move things and morph things internally. Now, I've been very blessed to know a number of people who were incredibly powerful at the process of intention. And the reason that I believe they were so powerful, I actually spoke with many of them about this topic many times, and it's the key to this, the secret to this, if you will, the secret sauce to this was their understanding of how intention worked and breaking it down to a very core fundamental issue of connecting with source, of connecting with the unseen, if you will. Because the particles that are involved in this are smaller than you can see. And I was reminded this week as I began to think about this topic, and I remembered that Wayne Dyer, a friend of our family and a person who has now passed, but when he was in Phoenix doing a lecture, we happened to be doing a mastery program there as well for Motor Health System. And he contacted Dad. He wanted to get some treatment, get worked on, and he came by and as a favor spoke to our masters group, which was a huge highlight for them as well. And Dr. Dyer, many of you, he's written I think 20 books, a very, very well-known author, personality, person, a great being that we were blessed to know. And this particular book, The Power of Intention, reminded me of some of those concepts and some of the thought processes that he had and the ability that he had to communicate and to touch lives and to allow people. You see, it was a matter of allowing people to grow and to begin to evolve and to move into who they truly are, and for them to get a better understanding of that at a core level. You see, that core level, it doesn't matter how you reference it, whether you call it God or nature or the source or the power or the force or universal intelligence. All of those are terms. They're physical words that are so inadequate in their description of the true power that exists on this planet. And Dr. Dyer had talked about how he moved from a physicalness and an educational, mental, if you will, a cortical background as he began to evolve into a spirituality where he began to understand spirit and he began to understand the forces of the universe that were at play. And a couple of those thoughts that he talked about were based on shedding his ego. You see, you have to get out of Dr. Mortar talked about this, about shedding your ego and getting past yourself. It's not about you. It's bigger than you. You are but a piece of this puzzle. You're not the whole puzzle. And so many people are so caught up in their ego and what's in it for me and that they're the center of their universe that they have not evolved yet. There's always that hope or that chance that they could. My suggestion to you is to lessen the chance of that, to not make hope a strategy, yet to evolve and to grow into why you're here. Why are you on this planet? Why are you physically here? Because it is for but a short period of time. And part of what he talked about was awakening the dormant force that is inside of you. You see, every living being has this, and no other living beings question their path or question why they're here. They simply carry out a path. They have a genetic potential that is in a single cell at the beginning of their life. And in that cell is all the information necessary to carry out your path, to fulfill your destiny. All the potential is there. The key is, how much of that potential do you recognize? How much of that potential do you realize? How much of that potential do you utilize while you're here? And better yet, once you figure it out for you, are you sharing that with others? Are you showing others a way? Are you giving them a chance to do that? He talks about the omnipresence of this, let's call it spirit. The omnipresence, which means, in essence, it's everywhere all the time. It was a concept that I also learned from Dr. Jim Parker, who created the largest organization inside the chiropractic profession. An organization that my father spoke for, I spoke for, Dr. Ted has spoken at, and an organization that understood innate in the power of the force that made you is the same force that heals you. It's the same force that will build your immune system to be able to help you fight off what's going on as you become exposed to the viruses of the world, let's just say. It is your immune system response that determines what your symptomatology is and your ability to get past this or get through this, or to maybe even not even have any symptoms. Just because you would test positive for something doesn't mean that you're on the path to morbidity. It just simply means you've been exposed and your body's fighting it. It is the best system out there to fight, is your immune system. So do all you can to build your immune system and understand that you have three main systems in the body. You have a nervous system and a hormonal system and an immune system that are responsible for taking you from one cell to the trillions of cells that you now currently are and have been in your entire existence. So understand the global aspect of who you are and the energy that's behind you, the spirit that is behind you. To become inspired is to be in spirit. This is a critical point for you to recognize and to realize in your growth and in your evolution, and as you morph into a more spiritual being. It is less about your ego and less about physicality, and understanding that this spirit, just because you can't see it, doesn't mean it does not exist. You see, if you actually break down your system, your physicalness of your body into systems and into tissues and into cells and into parts of the cells and then into atomic particles and then into subatomic particles, you realize that even in the study of subatomic particles, there is less space than there is physicalness. Therefore, you are more nothing than something. These are facts, these are scientific, whether you believe it or not, this is the way it is. So the fact that you are more nothing than something gives us the possibility to understand and to begin to comprehend the magnitude of the power of Source, the magnitude of the power of creation, if you will. And it is through the study of that and the feeling of that and the blocking and this is why in meditation people can access this force, and because you have to quiet the mind, you have to get out of ego, you have to get out of yourself. This is why mindfulness, this is why Mortar March can help you refocus on who you are and how you can have a pause, how you can slow down, how you can think and contemplate before you respond to every single situation and circumstance that happens out there in the hectic world in which we live. These are all important steps. It reminds me also of how perfect the world is and how you are delivered, or if you're paying attention, if you watch, if you listen, if you pause, if you practice being in the moment, things fall into your life, things show up in your life, things are accessible in your life. You can allow these things to happen. Some things you have to go get, and some things you have to allow to occur on the natural timeline. You see, there's a difference in the burning obsession and listening. When you can combine those two, you become incredibly powerful. This is why the study of the Success Mastery course, as you move through these levels, they're all delivered to you, given to you, shared with you, shown to you at the perfect time, if you allow them to be at the perfect time. So today I have a dear friend who's in town, and he was sharing with me a quote from Steve Jobs, that I'll read it to you because I think it really is spot on in the concept of intention. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. Trust in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever it is you choose. This approach has never let me down, and has made the difference, it has made all the difference in my life. You see, whether you call it your gut feeling, your destiny, life, fate, karma, spirit, the power, force, nature, the universe, universal intelligence, the phraseology matters not. The principle is what matters. And certainly if it was good enough for Steve Jobs to share, he certainly has had some ups and downs and some wins, and again, building a huge organization. Understand that the more you get your ego out of the way and the more you understand the power of spirit, the faster you begin to evolve spiritually. Each of us have ups and downs in our lives. There is no one that I know of whose life was like the graph you wish every stock you bought looked like, that went like this. Everyone's life that I know, successful people, whether that success is in business or in family or in spirit or spirituality, they're all more like this. There are highs and there are lows. And the key is to always maintain the feeling of intention on where you intend to go. What is your intention? Because even when it's high, there could be a low coming. It's like a pruning. This is the way life works. This is the way nature works. Things grow, and then they go through a season of retraction and compression, and then they build a base, and then they grow again. This is you. This is each of us. This is how it works. There are ups and downs, highs and lows in each of your lives. Once you can begin to see that they're not really highs and lows, they just are. They're not really highs and lows. They simply are. They are all a piece of building the foundation that allows us to accomplish our intention if we stay focused on the intention. So many people, when they hit what appears to be a down cycle for them, lose the sight of their intention, and they give up on their dreams, and they quit on themselves, and they no longer believe. This is the power of the Success Mastery course, is to help you understand it just is. Let's utilize it as we move forward to allow you to accomplish your intention. That's why we're here, and we're here for you. I'm Dr. Tom. I hope you have a spectacular week.